then you're fighting against those investors that are paying above asking price in cash.
The reason that we have to fight with investors to buy a home is because of Donald Trump. See, following the 2008 housing market collapse, something was introduced into Congress and eventually became law under the Obama administration, and that was called the Dodd-Frank Act. The Dodd-Frank Act required that investors wait 14 days after a home is listed for sale before submitting an offer. The Trump administration rolled that back.
Well, wouldn't you know, Republicans came together and made it harder for regular people to get ahead. Now, what do you think that board meeting was like? You know, when all the Republicans and the lobbyists and the corporate CEOs came together underneath their blanket of treachery as they connived to make it easier for people with all the money and resources to get ahead. And they were thinking, this 14-day waiting period is just a little too much. I don't want to have to compete because I'm a capitalist, you see, and I'm all about competition. So let's take competition out of the market. And that way for people who already own all the real estate, if they want to just buy up a whole bunch of it with cash in a way that other people can't compete with, mind you, can't compete with this. Well, that's what we're all about. Go capitalism.
That's why investors are buying homes for cash as soon as they go up for sale, and people like you and I are unable to afford these homes. The Trump administration is directly responsible for the 2022 housing market crisis, the same way that the Bush administration was responsible for the 2008 housing market crisis. Remind me again, how did the 2008 housing market crisis end?
But of course, we all know that this is not true capitalism, as we continuously see them suck all the competition out of all the markets just because they can give enough money to the political system to do so, which boils back to the main problem within our political and socioeconomic structure, which is the corruption within it. For example, it used to be 70, 60 years ago or so, a little difficult for corporations to directly give money to campaigns. So over the decades, what's happened is they created PACs, political action committees, which allows corporations to funnel money to the PACs. Then that money gets funneled to the campaigns. But see, political action committees have limits on how much money and how they can give money as well. So then they created super PACs, super political action committees, which have no limits on how much money they can give to campaigns. And then they mix the First Amendment, the rights to free speech, with campaign donations. So now they equate campaign donation money as free speech. So if you go after campaign finance laws, now it's, well, these are free speech laws. These are First Amendment rights. So you see how they've convoluted the two. And then on top of that, the Supreme Court recently made it easier for incumbents to get their pockets lined up. It used to be such that while you're in office, you could only get a loan. Well, you could get a loan of however much, but you could only pay back $250,000 of that loan, which made it less of an incentive to give money to people while they're in office. But now there's no limit to that loan that you can pay back. So if I give you $1 million, I can expect you to give me $1 million back, or at least that amount in services, which basically makes it easier for me to corrupt you while you're in office. So the whole system is falling apart because of the corruption within it.
0 to 500,000 is being consumed by hedge funds. Nobody's talking about that sector of the market basically being taken out. So you're talking about there's a shortage of inventory. Well, yeah, there's a shortage of inventory because all of these large corporations have come in and purchased this much of the market. Do you realize that? Do you get that?
But again, this is what the Republican Party does, is they complain about inflation, which is in fact impacting the entire world due to the supply chain crisis because of the shutdowns that happened from the COVID-19 crisis. You see, because of globalization, because we have a worldwide trade system to where manufacturing is here and there and everywhere, and our manufacturing got shipped overseas, we don't produce anything here. And so when world trade got shut down, nothing was being produced to the same capacity. And so when people started spending money, the demand was a lot greater than the supply. And so as the rest of the world and the supply chain is playing catch up to produce the goods that people want, that's driving up the prices. And the gas prices are so high largely due to the war in Ukraine. So again, there's all these issues going on that the Republican Party is fundamentally against fixing, unless they're talking about truly bringing our manufacturing back into the United States, which the party itself is not talking about because that would cost more money for corporations. So again, it's all smoke and mirrors, but we got to do what we got to do and make sure that we outvote them.